Hello, Aries, to another timeless love reading of yours. Well, a love variant reading, alright? So I guess this wants to be a love reading. But this is a love variant reading, okay? So whatever brought you here, you may have caught a vibe of some kind and seeing whether or not anything of this story time fits your needs and however that you discern that to be. Please bear in mind a few details before we get started. I'm Master 7th that reads these energies for you. Should you want to know what she is, what she's all about, she has some details via a link in the description box below. You can also access other points of the description box below to see whether or not the links that are listed are intriguing for you to go explore. It's all timeless content between both of my channels. You're here, Aries, because it's possible that you may be in search of universal justice, especially if you're here in Sun, Rising, and or Jupiter position. I don't know, the word universe just came through. And if you're in search of emotional redemption or you're just not sure yet, you can benefit from the sister channel, okay? There's also timeless over there, especially if you're Aries and anywhere else in your chart. Feminine and masculine energy is non-gender specific, however that may mean to you, and past, present, and future energetical timelines could always come forth within a reading. So that's why use your discernment, for this is not a one-to-one. This is a general collective, all right? So let's get to pushing, all right? Also, feel free to browse the description box below if you're interested to have a digital punch card assigned to you, where if you purchase a wellness drop or a single card purchase, then the 10th service is a free mini read from me. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we have the Knight of Swords with the Two of Swords, with the Eight of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So in regards to love, when it comes to addressing it specifically, it doesn't feel like there's much love to be around, right? With all the swords energy, it's saying it's chaotic. It's a windmill. I'm hearing tornado, hurricane. However, there's a lot of you who also kind of came together and learned about what it means to be part of a community of some kind, and feeling that having people around you is important. But you just maybe don't know exactly who to trust and keep in your circle of people. Like maybe traveling out in the world gets you a bit more exposed to the idea that there are other people besides the immediate social connections that you have that could maybe offer you an opportunity to get out of this chaotic energy and maybe recenter yourself as best as possible, because in most eye of the storm, that's where it happens to be pretty sunny, right? So that's kind of the irony, but that's getting into the center will help you navigate via this night energy and get away from the things that you think you cannot see from this energy over here, okay? They're both blinded. Getting this and seeing it like that as well is saying to me that I know you're seeing it go towards the wheel, but face down in front of me, it's going away from the wheel. So this is good, because this is telling me you're moving away from negative karmic aspects that this energy could have in a collective setting, okay? So you're going the 180 with all that you have, with all your force that you can possibly gain access and courage into trust, like the Fool energy, to be determined to trust this resistance in some way, because you know more or less you've been through this awkward position before, and there's something there that you will meet, right? It's like a birthing of some kind of you. It's like you're literally giving maybe birth, and that baby inside is just, you know, fighting for mommy, you know, getting attached to mommy in some way. That message is also coming through. So this is very illuminated in being active in the energies of which it is that you cannot see here with the two blindfolds as well. There's the possible orange brown color here and then the white color here. So it's more of less trying to figure out how healthy the sacral chakra is here as well, where creativity and uniformity can take place. So be mindful of that. Possibly, maybe that's a narrative to accept in some way or another. That might be the last little threading to get like an aha moment for this zone that you're leaving, because you're removing yourself away from it to get better. It's interesting. It's like maybe you're trusting your own intuition to listen out to your body because you haven't listened out to your body for a long time. You've been listening to a narrative of other people, what you should be doing to your body, and it's never worked in your favor, and you just don't know how with the Two of Swords energy. So you're listening out to your intuition the best that you can here. You're taking the opportunity to see these 10 collective swords and using that last strength here with the sword coming from the Knight and getting yourself into your master yourself here with all these swords collecting themselves up to being 11. And 11 is a fantastic self-individualized lesson. This is a high time to accept people from all different kinds of colors and vibrations and sequences and formalities, informalities. Like, you either know the truth or don't know the truth, talk a lot of shit, but maybe there's some truth within the shit, maybe all of it is shit. Like, we just don't know what to discern the information as. But this is also an opportunity to illuminate the eyes of which they think they cannot see. So all this opportunity of physical movement, physical needing maybe to get yourself out of a situation that no longer works in your favor, removing yourself from possible relationships and finally cutting the ties, lessening your codependency and lessening your availability, I think is gonna stretch that karmic cycle out so thin that you're gonna be a bit more clear-headed. We have the moon wanting to come out, but we have the judgment energy. Interesting here, yeah. With the 9 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and your energy, Emperor. Okay, so this is the last force of, like, definitely I could use this energy of self-acknowledgement at this time, accepting that the work that you're putting in is going to have rewards of something. Okay? And the 9 of Swords is wishful here for this whole cycle to be over, with the 10 of Cups here, the longing, the hope, the wanting to reconnect, the wanting uniformity in what was lost and wanting it to mend together in one way or another. I think it's going to happen with a lot of you getting rid of variables of possible people connections to make space for other opportunities to solidify, because whatever home was before wasn't really working out for you. You weren't happy. You had sleepless nights, sleepless situations, there's just either emotional pain, physical pain, spiritual pain coming from what was there former. And you're listening out to self to kind of get you through this time. You're healing a lot here with this red cross symbol here from you. Okay, and you're also almost going into a volunteer work basis. So I'm hearing that, instead of it maybe being more on the fact that you may or may not be doing volunteer work, it's giving me permission to almost see that you are more or less not minding your own business, diligent to remain in your lane, but adamant to get it pushing to where you feel you could end up. We have Shu, order and peace. Yeah, order and peace can be found within you. And what's more important, I think, here right now is the imagery of the feminine body kind of overshadowing everything on this card and being highlighted with stars. And he comes across as wondering whether or not he can trust his own trust and courage for wanting to find out order and peace on his own. I think that came up earlier, right? Like that law and order kind of thing, that kind of energy, maybe a bit. At this point, I don't know what came rummaging through. Some of you are wondering if the mysticism of the esoteric has to match up with DNA, and it doesn't. Like, anyone who has been made aware of having dabbled in past life regressions, or not afraid to try or accept that niche of existence that people do this stuff, that coming across your own version of your story, you're so many different shades of colors that it's impossible almost to then take this moment then too and become neurotic to believe in something due to like ancestry.com. All right, but 3 is also important for you here. I think that will help you in your quote unquote awakening the inner order of peace of things, like this card expresses. You're more or less with that kneeling down, forgiving yourself. This isn't like prayer energy though. This isn't about heeding to a call, it answering to one. We have Teveret, or I would like to say Tavaret, Genesis. Okay, so don't ask me. In my personal life, I don't know anything about theology. Never really was an interest of mine, and then I learned along the way whatever interest I do have. I better not talk about it in full detail because the person may know more than me and may make me look like an idiot. Okay, so more of a reason to tell you that this is just story time, intuitive insights to every mercy that there is. May the order and peace be unto us all. All right, so Tavaret. That's the beauty of ancient Egyptian language. Like, how could it possibly be exact? Just like Bastet and Sekhmet. They all have different versions of getting to the vibrations. Just like the denominations of all the ways that Jesus has come up in a frequency and all the other names. And how just culturally from one culture to another, it just happens to then change a letter or so. Interesting what keeps happening. It's a very interesting pattern that happens, huh? But whatever. So, whatever is, and whatever functions happens in 24. Because unknowingly, the world can be explained up to the digits of 24. Don't shoot the messenger. This is the energies of the Genesis. This masculine depicted energy is pregnant. Whatever she is pregnant of is not because he can give birth to what it is that he's pregnant in, but he's overcome with too much knowing, and he doesn't know how to give birth to it. So he's looking for meaning, he's looking for calling. So he's almost revealing what he knows, but because he feels bloated, there's something about his story that is not clear. So it's almost like the book of Genesis isn't clear because he's still yet talking about it in the way that he's trying to protect that he's not done yet. You can't access it here. You can't access whatever he's standing on. It may be a book, it may not be a book. Of course not, it's not a book. Okay, it's the way the energies are coming out. Indigenous people of the lands have more of the tie to what it means to have and respect old energies. You can't say you don't feel shit when you're around indigenous folks who then participate in a beautiful ceremony of some kind. And you don't feel that shit? Alright. And maybe some of you have stayed away from it. And so you've become this energy all bloated up and stuff. You could use a little ceremonial, sacrilegious, let go of your bullshit and release. But you'd have to show up. We don't know if you're ready for it. Only one that has the clothespin for how long it's good for you to feel hung up and dry here is up to you. You're the one standing upon your own journey. You're the one that gets to go through the leaves and feel attached to it or not. If you recognize them on your path when you go through them. If you stop and smell the roses, but don't get lost along the way. If you catch your symbolisms along the way of what's looking at you in return while you're looking at it. And there we have Satet Fruitfulness, 27. So yeah, the birthing of some kind, the healing energy to bring home that of which it is required to hit the markers of desire and tame the energies, so that way the karmic becomes less chaotic, and that you reach the center of the storm and find your island of paradise. And may when you find it, return back to it whenever you feel lost. All right, Aries, that's all I have for you at this time. May you have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ethers, this time and space. Should you again want any of my details and make connections, information can be found below. Take care.